I know what all of you are thinking. You're saying, Neil, we've seen 11 demos so far, really cool. We got to see the future of robots, the future of healthcare, the future of gaming, but there's one thing that's missing. As we all know, every demo day of any kind is not taken seriously unless it has a perfect sprinkle of B2B SaaS. And so to wrap things out, it is my pleasure to introduce Christie, who's going to tell us about the tool that she's been working on, Deftly. So I'll let you take it away.
Perfect. Thanks, Neil. Last demo, B2B SaaS, way to end it, right? My name is Christie. Thank you so much for your time today. I spent the past couple of years working in B2B SaaS. My background is mostly in product and engineering, and I studied machine learning at MIT, where I met my co-founder, Fern. And Fern also spent the past couple of years working in B2B SaaS as a full stack, everything from small startups all the way to the largest enterprises. And together, we are building Deftly. We're building the AI copilot for product people. And fundamentally, what we're trying to do is we're trying to change the product development lifecycle. Whether it's at a small startup or it's at a large enterprise, this is the cycle. And there's two things wrong with it. It's extremely slow, and it's also extremely noisy, and it comes at the cost of your business. If you're a product person, typically you'll have to triage your feedback. You have to manually categorize that feedback today in order to get a signal of what's going on. What do your users care about? Conversely, after that's finished, the assessment of product priorities is one that is often subjective, but when it really should and can be objective. And that's why we started building Deftly. This is an example of actually a process that I used to do back at Retool. Mind you, this was when it was Series B, thriving. It's now a wonderful Series C company. But going from the feedback in and of itself to identify the problems all the way to pushing an idea onto a roadmap took somewhere along the lines of 2 quarters. And the reason why was because when you're at this scale, you can't really go, aha, idea to roadmap. You need to now identify how valuable is that problem to my particular business. If we're to deep dive a little bit into this, of what exactly does a product person do, not just myself, but so many people we've talked to, they start here. Feedback, typically uncategorized, coming from your customers, and it requires that manual turk of having to tag them one by one. Eventually, you'll finish that exercise. You'll have a general sense of what are the biggest trends, what are people kind of talking about and valuing, writing down the companies that care about that, and then doing kind of a cross-reference exercise to understand, okay, what's the opportunity at stake here? But I mentioned one thing, it comes at a cost to your business. This exercise is very lengthy, it's very manual, it's very time intensive. And of course, it culminates into this report that gets circulated amongst leadership. Once you get buy-in, it finally makes it into a roadmap. But again, cost of your business. This is a very real project proposal that I actually showed you at Retool, where the customers that were on my proposal, their renewal dates, unfortunately, kind of went and gone. But by the time their renewal dates had come, this was a problem that they had been complaining about for so long. And unfortunately, the result of that is we lost expansion opportunities, and customers were either renewing flat or they were churning. And this is the reality of today's market. It's no longer 2020 where you can fulfill revenue goals with new logos. It's all about how can you find your retention, how can you grow retention opportunities, and how do you find expansion opportunities as well. And what that means is that your product has to deliver more value time and time again to your existing customers today. And so that kind of begged the question to me of, okay, well, we have this data. How can we leverage it better? How can we leverage it faster? And how can we use machine learning and generative AI to do that? And so that's why we started building Deftly. If you're a PLG or you're a product person like myself, the thing that's top of mind for you is how do you build the right thing for the right people at the right time? And it really requires understanding 2 questions that I've been hitting on throughout this presentation, which is what do your users value and how valuable is that to your business? And so with Deftly, we aim to solve those 2 particular questions. And we're hoping that we can take you from a timeline that looks like this to something that looks more like this, and really allow product teams to start attributing their goals and their projects directly to the revenue and understanding, okay, what exactly are we doing for our business as we build these new items? So before I go into the demo, I kind of want to set the stage a little bit. Today's September 20th, which is very convenient. It's the end of Q3. And so if we were a B2B SaaS company, that means that we're probably doing product planning for Q4. And so let's say that our goal is we haven't hit our revenue targets, and we want to be able to close all the expansion opportunities and all the renewals that are on the table before the end of the year. And so before Deftly, again, you'd start somewhere here. Uncategorized feedback with somebody having to categorize it all for you. With Deftly, that is no longer the case. What we do is we take that same feedback and we apply machine learning to it to auto-tag and categorize all similar ideas that are coming from your product feedback. We marry that feedback with your sales data, and from here, what you're seeing behind me is now a categorized and ordered list of priorities of projects that you could potentially pick up. Each of these feedbacks that have been categorized together will culminate into something called a report. We use generative AI to create summaries. We, again, marry it to your sales data for you to understand the opportunity on the table here. And then, of course, you can deep dive a little bit deeper and into understanding what exactly your user said individually. But if we go back to our Explorer and kind of our grander goal again, which is Q4, not hitting our revenue, how can we do that and make sure we're focused on the right customers? So we allow you to slice your data in exactly that manner. Can we focus on customers that are renewing before the end of this year? Can we focus on customers that are our highest paying customers? So again, those enterprise customers, and allow our data to now resort and tell us what are the priorities of these particular customers? How can we build for these people that match our business goals as of right now? When I was at Retool, this again was an exercise that took me almost a quarter to figure out from ground zero. And so now that we know the trends, we can take a look at this and say, okay, well, maybe we can put this under review so that we can look at it during product planning. We'll set it to high because it matches our business goals for Q4. And now when you're going through product planning, you can actually use a roadmap to your advantage, not something that you just wave around to your go-to-market team and say, hey, you can show this to your customers. Now what we can do is we can say, okay, these are the potential product priorities. Which one is contributing best? Where can we put our engineering resources to play? And we can see, okay, this is the biggest one. And now we're ready to do some real product work. And Deftly doesn't just stop there with prioritization. Again, we want to leverage generative AI and help you do things like generate PRDs and write product requirement docs right off of the feedback that you gave us. Again, everything from user stories, functional requirements, things that are out of scope. And then we additionally want to push these things to your engineering team, your counterparts. And so we even help you spec out engineering tickets, pushing them into a Linear or a Jira, which is Linear for today. Okay, maybe not today. But either way, what it would have done, it was pushed into Linear, oh, there we go, beautiful. Pushing it into Linear just like this, allowing your engineering team to take action immediately. And again, this would have saved me 2 quarters of time at Retool, no more churned customers, and no more heat on the leadership from me. But all to say, we launched a private alpha a couple of weeks ago, and we're learning a lot from our pilots, but we're looking to launch a ton more. If you are an enterprise company, with more than a couple of customers, and you're having some problems with product feedback or alternatively revenue, definitely come find me. Thank you so much.